We now go back to our Abuja studios where Linda Akigbe is standing by to give us more on the victorious Eagles.
Thank you, Suleiman. And to look at the Eaglets' journey to victory, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the Director of Competitions, Nigeria Football Federation, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi. Dr. Sanusi, it's nice to have you here in the studios. Now, it's been a dream tournament for Golden Eaglets and Nigerians. The boys have had a fantastic competition. They are unbeaten in this competition. How do you feel about this?
I feel great, and I must give thanks to God Almighty for the victory. It's a victory for the team, victory for the individual players, and victory for the country.
Now, while it's exciting to note that Nigeria is the most successful team at the under-17 level, it is disheartening that Nigeria doesn't carry it through to the senior level. Why?
Yes, I must confess that we have had that problem in the past. But I'm telling you that I said it several times, this time around you are going to see a different thing all over. We have a plan to keep this team together. Of course, you will agree with me that it is difficult to stop players from going for greener pastures. Okay. But what we will do as federation is that we will not allow minors. When we talk of minors, we talk of players who are below the age of 18 to leave the shoes of Nigeria without proper documentation. And the proper documentation is for them to go under the guidance of their parents. And a player must be, who is below the age of 18 must be escorted by his parent to whichever country is going to be. What I assure Nigerians is that we are going to monitor these players and know where they are. And we intend, by the grace of God, to graduate them to under 20. Now,
so what are the plans to see this team through to every stage of international football?
Well, the plan, as I said, as I have been telling the media, is to make sure that we monitor them. When we monitor them, we stop all these hawkers, scouters, who get them enslaved by taking them to countries where they will not have opportunity to play good football.
And how do you intend to do this specifically? How do you intend to monitor them?
Yeah, as I said, we are not going to allow any player that does not have proper documentation, proper agent that would take them out of the country. And the way we'll do it is to make sure that any request that come to our office, and of course request for players clearances and letters of endorsement to embassies usually come to my office. Okay. We will make sure that no player that is not to be properly cleared is allowed to leave the shores of Nigeria. We want them to do well. We quite understand that most of them are eager to go out and earn a living, get better money. But at the same time, we must protect their career. We want them to understand that what the Federation is trying to do is to prepare them to have a better bargaining power. When you just follow an agent that is only interested on what he will get, not minding what your future is going to be, you will end up, there are some that have ended up being working in the restaurant, and some would be selling newspapers on the street in other countries, in some of the countries they went to. So we want to make sure that this group of talented players we have God gift, which the country has, which God has given the country, we monitor them, keep them together, and even if some of them are going out, we'll make sure we know where they are.
Now, what about the coaching crew? Will they be retained?
The coaching crew, they are excellent. You cannot change a winning team. I want to tell you that there is no intention to change the coaching crew. There may be, I am not saying there will be, there may be an upgrade. Probably if the team is to move to under 20, probably the federation might decide to say, look, go with their coaching crew. But that is premature now. But I assure you that the coaching crew is going to remain.
Now, we went on the streets, of the town to get people's reactions on the match, and Nigerians describe the style of play of the Golden Eaglets as the best they've seen in the last 10 years. What makes them so different?
You see, those who have been following Nigerian football will tell you that the pattern adopted by the coaching crew is different, quite different from what we have been seeing. You could see that when they are going for attack, The normal pattern of Nigeria is you see two players at attack and then you see one supporting player. But in this case, at attack you see 4 players and one supporting from the midfield. Okay. You'll end up seeing about 5 attackers going. And when they lose ball, you see that all of them, about 6 to 7 players will come back for defense. Okay. So they have mass attack and mass defense because they are energetic, they are young boys, they are well trained, they have the stamina.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sanusi, for coming to stay with us today. Now to our Lagos studios, where Suleiman Alede is standing by.
Well, many thanks, Linda. To other news here on the News at 10, the thorny issue of inadequate funding of the armed forces and the Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, has sent the Nigerian Senate and the Federal Ministry of Defense on a trip to Jaji to urgently address the situation. During a visit to the college, the Senate Joint Committee on Defense and the Army requested for answers on how the money allocated to the institution in the 2013 budget was spent. And the Director of Finance, James Ilyasu, also lamented that the annual budgetary allocation to the college is insufficient to meet its needs.
The Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, has had its peculiar challenges, especially in November 2012, when 2 suicide bombers attacked 2 churches inside the college, killing some people and injuring several others. In line with its mandate of overseeing the activities of all military formations in the country, the chairman told the commandant that the committee was at the college to ascertain if the funds approved to the college in the 2013 budget have been released by the relevant officers.
How far you've gone with the funds, whether releases have been given to you as at when due, and also to find out whether you have difficulties in accessing some funds. If you've gotten some funds we are in the 3rd quarter now, the 4th quarter is also almost elapsing, to know whether you've gotten all the releases for the quarters and you've gotten every funds that is supposed to come to you. If you have, how have you spent them?
In their separate presentations, the Commandant of the College, Air Vice Marshal Eko Efiam Olsen, and College Director of Finance, James Ilyasu, told the lawmakers that out of the 3 billion naira appropriated to the college for various projects this year, only 1.5 billion naira has been accessed in paper, while only the sum of 743 million naira was released for capital expenditure as of 31st of October this year. A situation that has hindered rapid development of infrastructure in the college.
Most of the things that happened here happened before I and my team came in here. So when we came in, we were appropriately briefed, especially in terms of the assistance the committee gave us due some security breaches. We were so much grateful. I will always remain grateful. I must tell you that what we did has helped this college a lot, and that is why the whole environment and everybody has been at peace for the past 11 months.
What is issued by the Budget Office of the Federation is different from sometimes what we receive here. Yes, sir. Like for Q2 capital, for instance, after the mandate was issued, we received the allocation in 2 installments. The same thing for Q3. We were hoping that before now, the 51 million will have been received, but up to today, we're still waiting for the Academic General's office. So that is actually the situation.
At the end of their presentation, the committee members were not impressed with the budgetary allocation to the college and blamed the Ministry of Defense and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation for the disparities in funds approved and the ones released to the college. The Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, is a joint service institution established in 1976 to offer increased capacity for academic and professional training of military officers and other ranks of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The hope is that the visits of the Senate Committee will convince the federal government to properly fund the college and ensure training of manpower needs of the country's military.
Now, the Yobe State Governor Ibrahim Gaidam says unless adequate security measures are taken, an extension of emergency rule for 6 months will simply amount to what he describes as motion without movement. In a statement through his special advisor on media and information, the governor says that the federal government should, as a matter of urgency, provide security personnel in the affected states with advanced weaponry and communications apparatus that can counter those of the insurgents. The statement also asked the federal government to review and upgrade the surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities of the security agents on ground so as to detect, prevent, and bring to justice any criminal or insurgent bent on carrying out attacks or wreaking havoc on innocent people. While the People's Democratic Party has been reacting to the ruling of the appeal court over the purported reinstatement of Prince Olagunsoye Olunilola as the party's national secretary, the counsel to the PDP, Mr. Ajibola Oluyede, told our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyale, that the appeal court's judgment is based on errors of law and misdirection of facts, and the party has already filed 3 grounds of appeal before the Supreme Court.
The subject matter before the Court of Appeal was not as to the validity of the order nullifying the Southwest Congress. It was never an issue before them. How they digressed into that issue is still, for me, a legal mystery. And that is the reason why we have filed a very strong notice of appeal this morning. And in addition to that, we have filed a motion to stay the judgment of the Court of Appeal. They have not made any order. They didn't make any order that Oyinlola should be restored. Contrary to what I read in the media, they did not say Oyinlola should be restored. All they said was that they disagree with the judgment of the Federal High Court and therefore they set it aside.
Well, if you're planning to vote in the Anambra State governorship election, then you may want to check if your name is on the voter register, and here is an easy way to do that. The INEC, that's Independent National Electoral Commission, has released a dedicated phone number for intending voters who may want information on their polling unit and whether or not they are in the register before or on election day. Intending voters are to type the name of the state, their surname, and the last 5 or 6 digits of their voter identification number displayed on the voter cards and send as SMS to 0817 1646879. INEC says the process will help make voting easier in the governorship elections slated for the 16th of this month.